for tuning in to Mama Jessie's Crochet. My name is Jessie, and today I'm going to teach you how to single crochet and the extended single crochet. For the materials today, it's rather basic. You can pick what yarn and hook size you like if you're just starting. I personally love the boy hook. You can use whatever style hook you want, and I recommend buying a couple different ones at the craft store and see what works best in your hands. So my favorite one starting out, especially with my hand tremors, is this boy hook. It has a nice soft grip, and I love the tip of the hook as well. For me it's easier, so I'm more like the more inclined hook, like the Susan Bates, and the Clover is really popular as well. So you can find what's best for you, or if there's different hooks and different brands you like, that's perfectly fine too. And you'll want your yarn. And what I'm using today is Big Twist. I absolutely love Big Twist because it's soft. I have sensitive skin, so I really like having nice soft acrylic yarn. And it says acrylic right here. And you find this, I believe it's at Joann's. But you can pick whatever yarn that's in your budget. This wasn't a bad price either. Red Heart's another good one. And I would recommend a chunky weight, so like a weight 5 or up. Sorry, I had a hiccup there. And on your label, when you pick it, it will show you the yardage. I love Big Twist because it shows you the garments you can make and how many skeins approximately you need. Everyone's tension is different, and that will counter in. I always buy an extra because sometimes I crochet loose, so I just like to buy one extra of the colors to be safe. And I'm going to turn this. I'm on my TV stand, so I'm sorry if I'm a little wobbly. And on the back of the yarn that you pick out, I also recommend a solid color if you're just starting, because it's easier to keep track of your stitches. And because the variegated yarns are a little bit more tricky because the color changes. So that's what I personally found when I started and self-taught. So what we are reading here is the weight. It says medium weight 4, or also known as worsted weight 4. I would recommend like a 5 or even bigger. And then right here it has your crochet hook that it recommends for the yarn. Every yarn should have a label on it that tells you. If not, then I would maybe pick a different yarn that does tell you, so you can have something to go by. It also shows your knitting needle, so if you're into knitting, and if you do knit, props to you, because I could not knit for anything. And this one recommends a 5mm, which is what I'm using today. And it also has your washing instructions and all that fun stuff. So once you have your solid color yarn, go ahead and start off with your slip knot and your chaining. So make sure you do practice that before you start your single crochet, because you do want your foundation chains to be similar to each other. You don't want it too tight, but you don't want it also too loose. You want it, I guess, uniform is what I'm looking for, or similar to each other, so your projects turn out well. And that's how I started off my cousin as well, and he really loved it. And then he grew off of that rather fast. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to adjust my camera here. I got overhead tripod. So far I'm liking it pretty well. I just need to get an actual desk and we'll be rolling. So I started off with my slip knot and chain. And I chained up 11. And you can chain up however many you like. Here is my chains. That's what they look like with my tension. Here's my slip knot and my first one. And if you're starting out, I would also get a stitch marker and put it in your first chain here, so you know where your start or your ending point is. And same with the first stitch in your row, so maybe get 2 if you're super new and you have trouble seeing where you start, okay? Or you can just cut off a little piece of yarn as well, okay? And there's all sorts of styles, of course, for those as well at your craft stores. So the loop on your hook will never count as a stitch, and then I started off with 11 single crochets for this sample. I like to hold my hook like kind of like a pencil. Sometimes I put my finger here if I'm in like a tricky stitch, or I have my hand tremors acting up really bad. And then to hold my yarn, I hold it like this. It took me a while to get used to the second wrap around the finger, but it really does help. Some people like to hold it like this and do that twist thing they do. My wrist doesn't do that, so I'm on the pencil style of crochet. And then the first chain on, so along with the loop not counting a stitch, this will not count as a stitch either. Your last chain you made, because that's going to be your turning chain. Now it's gonna keep your work edging straight. That's one thing I wish I knew about crochet when I started, because my edges were wavy. So go into your second single crochet, and you'll want to have those 2 loops on your hook and then one on your bottom. So you went right through the middle, and it's kind of like a V. And then you're going to yarn over like that. That's all yarning over is. Pull that yarn through, and like so. If you're having trouble pulling through, watch the angle that you have that on and try it different ways. And you're going to yarn over again. Okay, and you see 2 loops on your hook. You're going to take that yarn and pull it through. Just like that. That's your first single crochet. So if you like, you can put a stitch marker right through there. And that next V, we are going, or chain, I say it's a V because it really looks like a chain. We are going to go into the middle again, yarn over, pull through for 2 loops on the hook now. You're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops just like so. There's 2. Go into the next chain. Okay, I'm going to pull that yarn up. You got 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through. There's 3. Next one. Put that yarn over, pull it through. See, I got a little stuck there because I had my tip pointed too high. And there's 2 loops, yarn over just like so, and pull through. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. You're going to yarn over just like so, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again, pull through those 2. Next stitch, or chain I should say, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Go on to the next chain, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over again, and pull through those 2 loops. And I got 3 more, and then we're going to chain and turn our work. So go into that next chain, yarn over, pull that through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Go into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. And go into your last one. Oops. Make sure you don't get your finger in your own way like I just did. Yarn over, pull that yarn through and up, yarn over and pull through those last 2. And there is my 10 single crochets. Now we're going to chain 1, and all that is yarn over and pull through that loop. Okay? There's the chain 1. That's going to help you keep your edging straight in your work. So I'd really recommend starting off with a scarf, and I'll have that tutorial coming out here soon for you guys, because it's getting close to that time of year already, if you can believe. I'm up north, so I'm getting ready, okay? 1 step too far. So we have this right now, and when it says turn your work, all it means is you're going to flip this over, okay? And then switch hands. Keep your working yarn in your left hand, or if you're opposite of me, you'll have it in the opposite hand, and you kind of know what I'm trying to say there. But I am right-handed. There's some very good left-handed crochet videos out there. So I have my hook in my dominant hand. I sometimes like to hold the tail with my other 2 fingers if it's in the way. I'm holding my work with my thumb and index finger, and I saw my tension in my hand. And you'll need to pull out your yarn from the center of the ball of yarn as you go, if you don't pull it in advance. But you don't want to pull too much out, because then it can tangle, so be careful with how much you pull out at a time. And again, that chain 1 will not count as a stitch, because it's going to be really hard to go in that. And so if you turn your work like this towards you, you can see the V's on the top, and those are the stitches that we just did. We're going to go right here in that very first one, right next to that chain. And you don't want your turning chain to be too loose, so I like to tighten mine down, and you just kind of pull this a little bit the opposite way to tighten. And if you get it too tight, you can just pull it up a little bit with your hook. You don't have it pinched down so tight with your fingers. So we're going to go into that first stitch. We're going to go under that V, like so. So your hook should be looking like that. And we're going to yarn over like so and pull it through. And there's those 2 loops again. And we're going to yarn over and pull through. Okay? And then yarn over, sorry, not yarn over, go into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through. 2 loops, yarn over, pull through. That's all the single crochet is. So go into the next V, make sure the V is on top of your hook. And yarn over, pull through both loops. Okay? Pretty easy to give yourself grace and take a breather as you need one. Your hook should be gliding in and out, shouldn't be too hard. And if your tension is a little crazy, that's okay. This is a practice. You can either chain up however many you work and just practice on a long chain or a short chain, whatever is easiest for you. Here we are again at the end. We're going to go under that last V, or single crochet, and yarn over, pull up, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that is 2 rows of single crochet already, guys. Now we're going to do the extended single crochet. So if you just want to learn the single crochet, I would just pause me right here or end the video and just practice that. I want to add on the extended single crochet. So make sure I have enough yarn here on this side to work with. I keep my yarn on my left right here, as you can see. It can be opposite for you if you are left-handed. And again, I'm going to chain up my 1, and you can see how the edging looks really nice there. So if you don't, it'll be wavy and wonky like my first year was, okay? So yarn over, pull through for that chain 1, Again, turn your work, just flip it, and we're going to work back the other way. Again, that chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and same with the loop on your hook will never be a stitch. We're going to go into that first V right here, like so, like we did before. We're going to yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook. Extended single crochet, we have an extra step, okay? If you ever need to adjust your tension, just reset how you have it in your hand, okay? So we're going to yarn over and only pull through this first loop right here, not both of them. Just that first loop, like so, okay? And now you have 2 loops on your hook still. That's why it's called extended single crochet. So you're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. Okay? This one's really popular to add texture to your projects. I know a lot of graphic gans like it's great for scarves and a bunch of other things. So we're going to go into that next single crochet. If you need to turn your work towards you, you can. Again, yarn over, bring up a loop, and you're going to yarn over again, only go through that first loop, like so. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops on your hook. We're going to do the same thing here. Go into your next stitch, and yarn over, pull up, 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through that first one, yarn over, pull through those last 2. You can always pull out your hook to reset as well. One thing I love about crochet, if you don't like your stitch, you can pull that out, and I'll show you here once I get to the second row of extended single crochet. That's what I love about crochet. It's really forgiving. Knitting is not. So I love how beautiful it is, but I just cannot do it. I have to be able to pull out my work, but not the whole project. I do not have said patience to do it. Especially with my hand trimmers, I just drop stitches and I'm like, ooh, yay. Oh. So, kind of like that instant too. Or at least until I get to the next row. So I'm just going a little faster here. Had some polyfill in there somehow. I was working on other projects, so probably got some in there. And you can fast forward and rewind me however much you need to. Great thing about YouTube. And last stitch. Really like this one. I'm definitely gonna have to make a scarf. Chain number 1. That's what the extended single crochet looks like. You see how that adds that extra height compared to your first 2 rows? That's like almost 2 rows of single crochet. I love it. So we're going to flip our work again, turn it, and go into that first stitch here. And we're just going to do the same thing, just like so. That's all extended single crochet is, my friends. It's really great. It helps the project go a lot faster versus just doing a single crochet, because it adds on a little bit more of a height. If you don't want the height of like a double crochet, because you don't want to have a big gap in between your stitches. The gaps aren't bad, but if you want a little tighter of a weave, you can go ahead and do extended single crochet. Half double crochet is really good as well. That'll be my next video with a half double and double. I just love this. We're definitely going to do a scarf together, that is for sure. Almost forget how much I like this stitch with the texture. Okay. So that's 2 rows of extended single crochet. I absolutely love it. So I hope you liked this video, and if it did, please give it a like, and if you have anyone else that's wanting to learn crochet, please send them over to my channel. I'll be bringing some fun projects from other designers that want me to help them teach their patterns, the ones that they don't mind me doing. So I'll be having some fun deals and other things here in the future, and I will see you guys when we bring the next video up. I'm trying to do 3 a week. And with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys on the next tutorial. Thank you.